What's going on, Duck Nation, College Football Nation? This is UODuckBros back with another video here to talk about the old Washington State game, a few days removed. Well, actually almost a week removed now, but the important thing is that we have things to talk about involving that game. You can probably talk more about it because I didn't even get to watch it because I was in the state of Washington that day. So, in light of that, I will let you take the stage and you can talk about it more, and then I'll get my 2 cents in later, so go for it.
Well, first of all, we were definitely pink, which was very interesting.
I think the thing that bothered me the most about that was that they used our old helmets for that.
I know, I was kind of bummed about that.
Why didn't they use like the wing helmets for that? That would have definitely looked a little bit less...
I don't know, whatever.
But
here's the thing. I mean, if Oregon is going to be the team to do it, they're going to be the ones that make it look the best. And we definitely, I mean, for however you could make pink look cool, it definitely looked pretty dang good. And, you know, as a guy watching it on TV, I was really pleasantly surprised that our fan base decided that they could actually do a blackout. And it was actually fairly impressive. I was actually really impressed because...
You mean they actually coordinated?
We didn't have, half the stadium with, like, green and yellow on. We actually had, like, the entire stadium in black, which was cool.
That's a miracle.
But getting to the game itself, very, very... I know, it was kind of sloppy in the beginning, and, Mariota fumbled the ball, and they got a touchdown, and we went into halftime...
Up by 10,
and it wasn't that great. But, and I know the secondary gave up 500 and some odd yards of offense and, all that stuff. But, the thing to take away from that really is, we got 4 picks. We got a few sacks. Our line didn't create a ton of push, but, we did get to him a couple times, and we for a team that had the ball thrown on them 90 times, that wasn't a horrible showing. I don't think giving up 500 yards is great ever, but if you're gonna do it, it may as well be to a team like Washington Washington State, where Mike Leach's MO, and so you just know going into it that that's what you expect. If you were to give up 500 yards of offense to Colorado or something like that, that's concerning. But overall, for the most part, considering everything that we had to overcome, I was actually pretty pleased.
So, here's my thing. And I'm going purely off of numbers because I never actually got to watch any part of the game. I got to see a couple highlight clips and whatever, but this was apparently Byron Marshall's welcome to the world party because he...
Stud.
Yeah, he played like a damn man in that game.
He ran very angry.
I heard he had 1 fumble, and then the next possession he ran for a touchdown. So that's... he would have been a fantasy owner's dream in there. What was it, 187 and 3?
Mm-hmm. Something like that, yeah.
That's a damn good day for anybody.
And even Tyner, man. Tyner's he's coming along. This kid's a stud, and I'm just...
Tyner bust out the 66-yard run.
It was beautiful. And he was just jogging, it looked like, and he was just leaving everybody behind. It was awesome.
He got a beautiful block by Keenan Lowe.
I know, that crack black block was incredible.
So here's my thought on the whole Oregon giving up 500 and whatever yards of offense. This is how it goes. You give up... So, Connor Halliday, I mean, he set 3 records in that game. He set the Pac-12 record for completions in that game with 56? I think it was.
I think he had completed.
It was either I think it was 56. It was either 52 or 56. I don't know. It's one of the 2 of those or something in that general
Highly
area.
too many.
So he had a record for completions with a lot of those were dump off passes from what I had heard. He set the record for pass attempts, which he finally broke a record of Drew Brees's, and I'm just ecstatic about that because I hate Drew Brees, with, 93 pass attempts. And then he also had the most yards ever posted in Autzen Stadium as an opponent. So,
which was the owner of...
I don't remember. Before that.
Yeah, I think it was like Arizona State's quarterbacks. They made a big deal about Helfrich being the quarterback's coach then.
Oh. Okay,
yeah, so it was one of those Arizona State quarterbacks. But
I wonder if it was like Andrew Walter.
I don't know who it was, actually. I don't think it was Walter. It was somebody after him.
But, so, here's my take on that. And you know you're going to get a lot of people like, oh, well, Oregon's defense isn't as good now. They're not what we thought they were. Well, here's what I have to say about that. I think that would happen to just about any team. For a guy that goes out and throws 93 passes, keep in mind, he still threw about 30-plus incompletions. It's not that, I mean, that's still not great. And 4 of those incompletions were interceptions, one of which was a score. And keep in mind, also on top of that, Oregon still managed to win this game by more than 20 points, despite that. I mean, had it been pretty much any other team that was competent, they probably would have won that game. But Oregon, they managed the game. Also, Oregon's offense is unstoppable in its own right. They, again, had a sloppy game and posted 60-plus points. But this is what I'm getting at, is that you can't go out and say that Oregon's defense isn't that good when you're literally giving the defensive backs about 3 games worth of coverage in one night. I mean, the average quarterback throws around 30 attempts of passing, and that's a lot to cover, even just in one game. That's 30 passes to defend, on top of, blocking for run plays and whatever, too. But when you have to put a guy through 3 sets of that in one night, that's ridiculous. I mean, you're going to give up yards. And especially, I mean, the most daunting stat that nobody wants to look at is the fact that Oregon held them to 2 rushing yards. I mean, that's really good. I mean, I know that Washington State is the worst rushing team in the country, but we held them to 65 yards below their average.
But we knew going into it they weren't going to run the ball that much anyway.
I know, but
so we got a couple sacks, which takes away from the rush total too. But regardless, the defensive performance probably wasn't what we thought it could be. But like he said, though,
you still forced turnovers.
We got 4 turnovers. We got a couple sacks. We got the ball thrown on us, and 14 points of that came in the fourth quarter again. And I know everybody
during the mass subs, and I know Oregon fans will be pissed by that. I was kind of pissed by it. I was like, oh, come on, man.
I mean, some are and some aren't. I understand if you're a coach and you want your kids to continue to play through adversity and you want to build confidence, because getting beaten as bad as they've been getting beaten by, some of the teams they played in, especially against Oregon, you kind of want to have them to have some type of, going into the next game, something to look forward to or something to look back on and say, well, at least we did this and that.
I.e., at least we were the team that scored
the most. But then on the other hand, I understand that there is a level of sportsmanship involved, and Mike Leach definitely failed that miserably.
And you can say
Alioti didn't handle it well either. He didn't have to go out and do all that stuff, especially since Oregon's a program that doesn't, go out in the media and call people out. And he already apologized for it, so we'll move on from that. But
coaches get caught up in the moment too, so it happens. But
there really isn't a ton else to say, just because the game was kind of it definitely wasn't Oregon's best game, but winning in the fashion that we won, going forward and drawing from being able to say, well, we did have some adversity and that we were able to make the adjustments and then blow them out, I think goes well for this game coming up we have against UCLA, and then going forward from there. So it was a good week, another win. We definitely made another fashion statement like always, and not bad.
Yeah, running game was solid. Passing game was solid. It was very balanced, and again, they put up over 700 yards of offense. Can never go wrong with that.
No.
So I think that with that all out of the way now, I think that we've kind of got out what we needed to get out. Again, don't worry about Oregon's defense. That game was an abomination. Everybody knew that Wazoo was going to get their yards, because that's what they do. Connor Halliday isn't in the top 10 for pass yards for no reason. So, the guy can spin the bean.
He can definitely spin the bean.
But in light of that, we have another video coming up for you here in a little bit. We're doing the preview video for UCLA, so you guys get ready for that, and we'll talk with you guys in a little while. So, as always,
go Ducks!
Go Ducks, and we'll see you later.